Welcome to Microdose Psychedelic Insights, powered by the Conscious Fund. This is the Psychedelic Insider Series, fireside chats with industry leaders in the psychedelic space.
We're here with Pankaj Gogia, CEO of Psychedelic Water. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, although we just said hello before we pressed record, so we're saying hello for the second time. Okay, so why don't we start with you telling me about Psychedelic Water? To be honest, I've seen it some advertising around, but it's relatively new to me. So why don't you give us a brief introduction?
Sure. Psychedelic Water as a company is what I would say is the first sort of CPG brand associated with psychedelics. Our positioning in the market is very different from a lot of the companies that exist today. They're focused on the science and the pharma portions of it. We wanted to come out of the gate with a business that brought the discussion around psychedelics to the mainstream, to the consumers, and help sort of destigmatize the association of the name with psychedelics and it being illegal or it being harmful to people. To be honest, even today, anybody who looks at a product and about a certain age demographic, they look at it and they're like, oh, this is what am I taking? Is this something that's going to be harmful? I think with a product like ours, if nothing else, we are bringing the conversation to the people, making them aware of what's going on in the industry. What are the different sort of new thinking around psychedelics and how it could be useful to consumers in general. What we have done with the company is we launched, we started the company a couple of years ago, but we launched the product earlier this year in February. And since then, we have seen a huge amount of curiosity in the marketplace around our product. We have sold over 250,000 cans to the public over 6-7 months. Nice. Over $1 million in revenue, and seen a huge virality on social media. We have over 10 million views on our hashtag on TikTok. So it's definitely seen a lot of traction from the consumers, and that just shows you what's out there and how do consumers think about something like this.
Yeah, definitely. As you were mentioning that, it probably could help in destigmatizing things. Just the fact of having it on a shelf in a local shop, just having the word psychedelic out there mixed in with all of our normal consumer products, that probably will have this kind of subliminal effect.
And I think that's a huge part of what we are doing for the industry. Like, we are big supporters of psychedelics, and we are involved in some of the research and sort of providing some support for that. But the reality is, again, from a consumer perspective, there is still a huge portion of consumers who think of them as these are things that are done by people who are not necessarily aligned to the betterment of the overall population. It's consumed by people who are not good. But as we all know, psychedelics in general are now being used for a lot of good reasons. It's being used for microdosing by Silicon Valley executives, tool used by people with some sort of mental health issues, as well as some other additional. There's a lot of research going on today about all the different things where it could actually help people.
Yeah, definitely. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the actual product? Is kava root is the main ingredient?
Yeah, so as we started thinking about what the market would look like, obviously psychedelics are getting decriminalized, but right now they're still not legal. We wanted to come to market with something that would have a psychoactive effect, but not necessarily a hallucinogenic effect. Our aim was to get to a broader market, so it definitely could not be something that was very strong or trippy. It had to have a mild impact. And what we did is we started researching all the different ingredients that are available, that are legal, but at the same time could provide a good effect to people or boost people's mood. I think what we have come out with is a product that is, I would say, almost equivalent to having a glass of wine or having a glass of beer, but without any of the side effects. So, you don't have any hangovers. You don't lose much of your mental acuity. It basically is something that boosts your mood without having any of the downsides of alcohol, as an example.
Right. So it is kava root is the main psychoactive ingredient?
Yes, yeah. So today we have come out with our current formulation includes kava, damiana, and kava root, damiana leaf, as well as green tea.
Right.
Our plan, but is to come out with more products that are going to have other ingredients and other formulations. So this is our first product to market.
Right.
We have launched with two flavors, which was hibiscus lime and blackberry yuzu. We have just come out with our third flavor, which is an orange oolong. So orange blossoms and oolong tea, and
Sounds
that should be
delicious.
available. It is very delicious actually. You will see it in the market. It starts shipping next week. So you'll see a lot of that coming in, and we're working on a couple of other formulations that are going to get launched before the end of the year.
Focusing on obviously legal ingredients.
Absolutely. Our aim is obviously to do everything by the book and do everything that we can to be legal. Now we do know that there are certain countries or jurisdictions where a different set of ingredients can be used, and again we will continue evolving our business and looking at what's possible as we grow out of the market. Our current focus for the next 9 to 12 months is US, and what we're looking at is all the ingredients and what we need to do to create our brand and position ourselves within the US market.
Right. So it sounds like a great plan, actually. There's definitely going to be a market for it, I believe. Every day, psychedelics are entering deeper and deeper into the mainstream and gaining acceptance in the kind of pop and mainstream culture. So there's going to be there'll be a segment there for you to grab for sure. So kava root, I did some quick reading. I actually didn't know much about it. I didn't know that there was a kava tea house culture in New York City and some other places. I didn't know that people were already consuming kava on that scale. And it seems to be, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that it's a mood enhancer, but also a relaxant. Are those the main effects of it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's a relaxant, but I think with our sort of formulation of combining with damiana and green tea, again, what we have been able to do it is while relaxing you, but also elevating you at the same time, sort of giving you that effect of a mood boost without sort of, just of the kava itself. I think the key was putting together different ingredients that give you a different effect that we wanted to provide to the marketplace. Kava has been used, for generations and historically in Fiji and some of the Pacific Islands, but it has come to North America in a big way. People use it as a supplement, but also there are, I think, over 1,000 kava bars right now in US, all across, New York, Florida, California, being some of the largest states. But anybody who's ever tasted kava would realize it's actually very bitter and some say it tastes like mud. But I think if you look at our formulations and what we've been able to create, it's that the taste is definitely much better.
Right. So kava would be the primary ingredient, and then damiana is the secondary, damiana leaf.
Yeah, and then green tea as well.
And damiana would have an effect of what kind of effect would that add to the mix?
So damiana again is a more of a mood booster as well. It's used from it was primarily from South America that it was primarily used. Again, there's historically there's uses of it maybe even being an aphrodisiac, but again, there's no conclusive scientific evidence. So I'm not going to say that's what it is, but it does, synergistically with kava, it actually adds, it gives you a better effect than just individual ingredients on their own.
Right. Okay, definitely. So you've already launched the product. It's in the US, your sales right now?
Yes, everything is on US. We launched direct to consumer online towards the end of February. We have since launched a couple of months ago on Amazon as well. And most recently, we are just in about over 250 stores, 275 stores in the LA area.
250 stores?
Yeah, in the
Okay.
LA area.
Which region?
LA, California.
In LA.
Los Angeles, yes.
Yes, yeah. Okay. That's pretty good coverage for just a few months since launch.
Exactly. So again, we are growing fast. We are seeing a lot of attraction. I think the uniqueness of our product makes it very attractive to all sorts of buyers. Just not from a consumer perspective, even from the business buyers. So we're seeing, normal sort of grocery chains or convenience stores. But we also see alcohol shops, smoke shops, vape shops, CBD guys. Again, it's a product that is not competitive to anybody, but at the same time attractive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
From the consumer perspective, we are seeing most of our sales are coming between 18 and sort of 24 being the big one, but 18 to 35 is the range where we see most of our sales coming from. It's attracted them. Demographic wise is 50-50 male and female, and actually it's more female. It seems to be skewing more and more to female as well. So we see a lot of attraction towards the product from broader demographic basis.
That's very interesting. And you believe you're going to launch some other formulations in the near future?
Yeah. Like I said, we have one on orange oolong. We'll do another flavor of the current active ingredients, but we will be launching other products. We'll be launching a product that will be like a short format, almost like a daily dose concept, like a 5-hour energy.
Right.
So we'll be launching a product like that as well soon, and then there will be other formulations in different.
So that would be a more concentrated, smaller form?
Yes, with the different set of ingredients.
Excellent. Okay. Those all seem like great product and marketing ideas. All right. You seem to be on the right track. And in terms of retail expansion, you're going to keep it to the smaller shops that are kind of like culturally, there's like a cultural crossover in some of those shops that you mentioned, but you think the bigger chains will say yes to this, or we need a bit more time for that?
No, I believe we're seeing a lot of attraction, at least in the regional chains that we're speaking to. And then, eventually we're having some discussion with the national ones. But again, retail takes time.
Yes.
It's not like online a little bit. But we do believe we are going to see a lot more distribution across US. Our sales online have been great, and we continue to see growth in that. But we do believe retail is sort of our big frontier to get it mass market across US. And, considering the uniqueness and the demand for the product, we believe a lot of chains will be extremely interested in it.
Yeah. Well, as the general acceptance and mainstream education increases, you'll probably, you may run into some resistance with some old school buyers, but every day it seems that the public perception is changing. So the doors will probably open increasingly over time for you.
Yeah, no, we definitely see that. Like I said, I think there is a demographic that is still resistant, and even though we are trying to educate them about it being mild and what its impact is and stuff like that, there is a certain age demographic for sure that looks at it in just the name and is like, yeah, no, I'm not.
Psychedelics.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll convince them soon enough. They'll come around.
And I think that's the big, if nothing else, I think that's the big part of a brand like ours, right? We are making it, the more you see it, like you said, the subliminal message of, it being available, it being visible to a broader community will help in definitely changing people's perception and the movement towards legalization. Because again, as you look at, our politicians and I think it's going to be public perception, and as long as we can keep changing public perception and make it more normal, more people will be supportive of any legalization and decriminalization that happens on a broader level.
Yeah, definitely. Last question, I guess, would be, I believe I saw it. So it's all made in America, made in Canada. These are local ingredients produced here locally.
All in US. So it's we acquire the ingredients within US, we manufacture within US, we ship, distribute everything within the US. So right now our product is all made in America and sold in America.
Excellent. All right. Anything else you would want the audience to know about the company? We'll include some links to your website and maybe to some press releases. But anything else you'd like to close on?
Okay. In general, we see, there's camps of people who are set in their ways of how they think about psychedelics. Either, there's a group who thinks psychedelics are bad, or there are people who are psychedelics promoters, but have a narrow vision of what psychedelics mean. It's a certain drug or it has to have a certain impact. For us, being psychedelic is almost like a part of your lifestyle, right? It's, Steve Jobs is psychedelic and Billie Eilish is psychedelic. It's about what you think of it. You're a creative person. You're somebody who's willing to try new things. You're curious. It's about a lifestyle. It's a way of thinking, and that's how we think of psychedelic. So
That's great. Well said. I tend to agree with that. So, all right, Pankaj, I appreciate this. I look forward. Are you going to be in Miami at Wonderland?
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
So we'll see you in Miami then.
See you in Miami. Thank you, Jason.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll speak soon.
Thanks for joining the Psychedelic Insider series, brought to you by Microdose and the Conscious Fund. Visit our website at www.microdose.buzz.